everyone. I hope the rest of your weekend was great and that most of you, or all of you, if it's possible, to have a good Monday, even if you have to work on Monday. But I was getting the YouTube stuff together for the Huntington stuff from the last couple of days. But when I opened up the Psalm of the day, it's Psalm 45, and it's called the Wedding Song. And I just felt really strongly that I was supposed to save the Huntington stuff for tomorrow and focus more on our identity as the bride of Christ, and that God was kind of leading me to share my testimony, just a snippet of it with you guys, but how I ended up first knowing Jesus' love, because I just feel like a lot of you guys will probably be able to relate with this, and then we can talk more in the psalm that I'm going to read about the bride of Christ. So just quick background, grew up in a Christian home, but was boy crazy pretty much my whole life. And when I was 14, got into my first sexual relationship. I was sneaking around. I was lying to everybody, just in a really broken place. And at that point, not realizing like my value, and that behavior was just giving in to the enemy. And so, because I was sneaking around, and we had just passed a letter to each other in the garage of my parents' house. And my mom had somehow seen it, and when I went upstairs, she's like, "Are you and so, still together?" Because we weren't allowed to date, and so she knew. And so the first thing that I did was go upstairs to my room, because I'm like, I will starve myself, to get my way, like typical teenager. But then I also have really struggled in my life with the spirit of suicide, and thankfully, like, God has really delivered me from that. But that was my first, like, once I got upstairs and thinking, like, I'm just lying to everybody, everyone would be better off if I, killed myself. So in my mind, I had the plan that that night I would go down and take medicine, but a friend of ours was visiting from San Diego, and he was downstairs playing guitar. He's like a worship leader. And my favorite song comes on. It's I Lift My Eyes Up to the Mountains. Where does my help come from? And just as he was playing it, like, I just felt like God said, "I love you, and you're new and pure in my sight." Like, how could, Jesus say that to me after, like, what I was living my life with? And so immediately, like, opened my Bible, which I hadn't read in forever, and it was just like, love verse, love verse, love verse. And so that was like the first time, and ever since then, because that was such a powerful time for me, like, even in the most broken times in my life, there's still that sense of identity, of being pure in his eyes. No matter how, I struggle with my life, like, that identity is secure because he died for us and covered us with his blood. One time he did that so that we could live in freedom. So now I'm going to read some of the Psalm of the day, but they'll talk a lot about the bride's identity, but that is us, and Jesus is the bridegroom, and that's a very true identity that he gives to us, because he covers us in his blood, and he sees us only in that covering of the blood, and so we are pure to him no matter how we live our lives. So some of the Psalm. Okay, almighty warriors, so majestic, you are full of beauty and splendor as you go out to war. In your glory and grandeur, go forth in victory. Through your faithfulness and meekness, the cause of truth and justice will stand. Awe-inspiring miracles are accomplished by your power. Your glory kingdom, O God, endures forever, for you are enthroned to rule with a justice scepter in your hand. You are passionate for righteousness. This is why God, your God, crowns you with bliss above your fellow kings. He has anointed you with his oil of fervent joy, the very fragrance of heaven's gladness. Your royal robes, release the scent of suffering love for your bride. Glistening in your pure and golden glory is the beautiful bride to be. Now listen, daughter, pay attention and forget about your past. Put behind you every attachment to the familiar, for your royal bridegroom is ravished by your beautiful brightness. Pardon the page turning. As the princess bride enters the palace, how glorious she appears within the holy chamber, robed with a wedding dress embroidered with pure gold. Lovely and stunning, she leads a procession with all her bridesmaids as they come before you, her bridegroom king. What a grand, majestic entrance, a joyful, glad procession as they enter the palace gates. So that is, yes, just how God sees us, and that He just loves you. And hold on, I think I had a couple more notes in there. I want to make sure that, oh, the ravishes part, like, this is like God's heart for us. Like, every little thought we have towards him, even if we're not somebody who gets a Bible out and has quiet time every morning or whatever, it's every tiny thought we have toward him, like, oh, thank you, Jesus, for that. Something so simple. Those simple things ravish his heart. That means he is undone with love for you over those smallest pieces, submissions to his will. And so anyway, I just really got like hit by his love as I was getting this together, and just hope that this truth is ringing to you guys. And I also know the song is called The Harlot by Misty Edwards, and it is just, it's gonna wreck your world as you listen to it. So please read the lyrics and then listen to it after. It's just, I really feel like some of you are just really needing to be reminded of his incredible love for us. So yes, hope you get lots out of the song, and just hope that you guys were encouraged. But just remember, like, you don't have to do anything to earn his love. It's already right there, and it covers every sin and every piece of brokenness. So that's all, and I will talk when I have more to say. I hope you guys have a blessed Monday.